If you've been diagnosed with piriformis syndrome or you have pain deep in the center of your glute, then chances are you're trying to stretch, massage, or foam roll out your pain. But in doing what you've been told, you're actually keeping yourself from healing. And here's why. Picture this ball right here, this red ball, represents your piriformis muscle. Inside of all muscles, there's something really important, which is a blood supply. Inside that blood supply are two vital things which are required for the function of the muscle and for the ability of that thing to heal if it gets injured: oxygen and nutrients. By constantly sitting on a foam roller, digging your thumbs or your elbows into your buttock, sitting on a tennis ball, using a massage gun, you're compressing this muscle, which if this ball were filled with fluid, it would just drip onto the ground, right? Because you're squeezing or wringing it out. And in doing so, again, you cut off the oxygen nutrients which are required for it to heal. Stretching is really no different. It's just a form of compression in disguise. I've got a rubber band here. Picture this is the piriformis muscle. Stretching can be defined as just taking 2 points, A and B, and lengthening or pulling them apart. So the more I pull on this, what happens to it? It gets thinner. The thinner it gets, the more compression, the less blood supply and oxygen. And now we wonder why we can't heal. Well, what's the opposite of cutting off blood supply? Well, boosting the blood supply. What if we could do that naturally? And the cool thing is we can, and we do that not by stretching or compressing, but by contracting. Think about it. If you go to the gym and you do a lot of curls, you walk out with a pump. Your sleeves fit a little tighter, things feel a little bit more firm. And that's because you're increasing the blood supply and therefore the oxygen nutrients to that area that you're exercising. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can do that using 2 simple, but not necessarily easy exercises to reduce piriformis pain, increase blood supply, and maximize your chances of healing naturally. And before I do that, my name is Dr. Charlie Johnson, physical therapist, and my knowledge and experience places me in the top 0.5% of PTs worldwide, and I only help people with a pain in the back, butt, or leg heal naturally. Now, before I dive into these exercises, I want to show you a process such that you can determine immediately today during this video, not next week, that these exercises are not only safe for you, but effective. There's nothing worse than doing a treatment program only to find that 6 weeks down the road you feel worse off and or you wasted your time, your energy, and money. So how do we know if the exercise that I'm going to show you and the concept I'm teaching you is going to be right for you at this time? First things first, you need to find a motion that's painful and yucky. This is step 1 of the process. So what I want you to do is I want you to bring your body through these 2 motions and just record in your brain how painful or problematic these motions are on a scale of, is it low pain, is it medium pain, or is it high pain? Let's just keep it really simple. So the first and most common yucky motion for people with piriformis syndrome or deep gluteal syndrome is a figure 4. And so go ahead and try to take your painful side and put the ankle up on the opposite knee. And again, if it's painful, how painful or limited is it? Low, medium, or high? Get a sense, take a snapshot of what that's like. If this is not painful, then the next common motion, which is often problematic, is a leg raise. So you start your heel on the ground, your toe pulled up, and go ahead and raise it on up. And if you have sciatica, chances are very high that will be painful. And again, if it is yucky or limited, then you say, is it low, medium, or high, and take a snapshot of that. Now we have what we need, such that then when we go to try on an exercise, we can see immediately if it improves our ability to do this or our ability to do this. And if it does, it tells us that we're on the right track. So these motions must be pain-free, and they must immediately improve your yucky motion, either your figure 4 or your leg raise, in order to be something you're going to want to stick with beyond this video. So now the 2 motions, they're very simple. Maybe you've tried them before, but maybe you've mixed them with other things. Maybe you've mixed them with compression or stretching, and it's no wonder they're not working, because lengthening is the opposite of shortening. I'm going to show you how to shorten things or contract things. So first one is just a simple clamshell motion. So you're going to lie on your side. Picture if there was a wall behind you, your heels are on the wall, your butt is on the wall, your back is on the wall. Put your hands on your hips, and as you open on up, be sure not to rock back. So often what happens is people will do this, and they'll open on up, and there's no challenge because your leg is completely vertical, and you're opening up your hips. So put your hand here to monitor, and as soon as you get to that point where you notice you want to open on up, you hold it there. And instead of doing reps, I want you to squeeze that muscle. So I want you to hold it, and again, this should be pain-free. If it's not pain-free, we will go to the next motion. And as you're holding it, you're going to feel some heat starting in your buttock. The goal here is 3 45 to 60-second holds. We really want to contract that muscle and relax it. Then we go ahead and we do 3 45 to 60-second holds. So we would just repeat it again. Now, if that's too easy, you can just place a band just above the level of the knees. So we'll do something like this, just above the level of the knees, and we repeat it. And what you'll find is that it doesn't take much. These are really small muscles deep in the buttock. So a lot of times people do too much resistance here, so that would be a fatal flaw. So if you are just going right from nothing to a really thick band, chances are you're compensating or you're doing something funky. So that's why you put your hand there, hold, hold, hold. Whew. I think that would actually be too much for me. So 3 45-second holds. If you have no resistance, you're able to get to that 45 seconds, then progress to a light band or even a little bit of resistance with your own hand works okay. All right, and you want to make sure, final thing, that you get to the end of that range. So if you're holding it mid-range, then chances are, and you're not able to get to the end range, then chances are you have too much resistance and or you just need to be mindful of, okay, I'm working this, hold it right at the end, right at that tipping point. As you start to drop, back on up. Whew. As you start to drop, back on up. Hold, 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 hold. And you'll feel it getting shaky and you'll feel it work that area. Now, what do we do? Was that pain-free? If it was pain-free, okay, it could possibly help you. Chances are it's not going to make you worse, but we take it off, and what do? We go back to the process. If after performing the clamshell motion, you go back and you immediately retest this figure 4 and you notice that it's looser and less painful, then that means that not only is the clamshell safe, but it's also immediately effective. It improves your movement quality, your movement experience. And that gives us evidence, if it works now, to believe that it may work in the future. But if you do that, it doesn't make it any better, it makes you worse, then we must not move forward with it. It's not the exercise for you. Now let's just say that clamshell motion didn't work. It didn't immediately improve your yucky motion, either your figure 4 or your leg raise. We're gonna move on to exercise option number 2, which is a bridge. So rather than trying to lengthen the muscles of the buttock, we're actually going to contract them. Now what I like to do is I like to put a band, it's not required, or a belt or something like that. I like to put a band, again, right above the knees. And as we're laying down, I like to put a little bit of tension into the band, and I like to just lift on up. Now, you don't need to squeeze your core or contract your butt or do anything like that. You can just put your hands by your side, hands on your belly. It honestly doesn't really matter. And you're just gonna bridge on up. Now, be mindful not to hyperextend. So you're not trying to arch your lower back. You're just trying to bridge on up such that your knees, your hips, and your shoulders are sort of on the line. And you would just hold this position. Again, we're going for low load, not a lot of resistance, prolonged holds. And that starts to work the muscles as they're designed. They're more endurance-based muscles. So we want to work on holds, generally more so than reps. It doesn't mean you couldn't try reps, but I have found that holds tend to work better. So you're going to aim for, again, about a 45 to 60 second hold, 3 reps, and you're keeping the tension out into the band. It's not required, but sometimes it helps contract those muscles a little bit more. Now, what do we do to see if it's effective? Well, number one, if it's painful, we shouldn't be doing it. So it should be pain-free, which means it's safe. But how do we know if it actually helped us? Go back. I think you're getting the gist now. And we retest that yucky motion, either the figure 4 or the leg raise. And we see if it immediately improved, then again, the bridge is safe and it's immediately effective, which means it might help us in the future. If it doesn't help or makes you worse or it's painful, we don't do it. All right, so hopefully this video was valuable because so many times people are trying to pull or compress these areas, stretch or foam roll or massage these glute areas to get rid of the pain in their butt, thinking that, well, it hurts so good, so I should keep doing it. Well, if something hurts so good, it still hurts. And the opposite of doing something which hurts is something that doesn't hurt. And the opposite of doing something which cuts off the blood supply, compression or stretching, is something that maximizes or boosts the blood supply. And after doing the clamshell or doing this bridge or any resistance exercise to that area, you'll actually feel a little bit of a pump in that area. And oftentimes you'll see it the leg raise and or the figure 4 immediately improves. And as long as those exercises or one of those exercises is pain-free and it immediately makes you better, then it's something you should stick with for at least the next 4 to 7 days and then report back. If you're improving, then you can keep going with that one motion as medicine. And obviously if it gets easier, you can progress it. And if at any point it gets yucky, then you can stop and you would need further evaluation. So hopefully this was helpful. If you're confused because you're like, you know what, my leg raise and my figure 4 wasn't yucky or this didn't work for me, then are you sure that you're treating the right problem? Go ahead and check out my other videos to help you figure out the most likely source of your symptoms for free, as well as some other tricks and tips to help you resolve your glute pain naturally. Thanks.